Hello again and welcome to Spotlight. I'm Al Gurinov and today we'll have a chance to discover Armenia. Armenia is the former Soviet republic in the Caucasus, turned independent in 1991 after the collapse of the USSR. Vartan Oskanian, Armenian foreign minister, arrived to Russia this week on a working visit to discuss world affairs and matters aimed at deepening bilateral cooperation. Today, he's the guest in our studio.
Vartan Oskanian was born in Syria. After graduating from high school in 1973, he left for Armenia, where he studied at the Yerevan Polytechnic Institute and received a degree in structural engineering in 1979. He then got a master's degree in engineering from Tufts University in Boston. At the same time, he was exposed to various government and international relations programs at Tufts and other universities in the area. And even though he did a brief stint at an engineering firm, he continued to study for a master's in government studies at Harvard University. A few years later, he enrolled at the Fletcher School of Law and Diplomacy in Boston and gained another master's degree. His key areas of academic research were international monetary theory and policy and diplomatic history and foreign policies. He moved back to Armenia in 1992 and joined the foreign ministry. He was appointed as the head of the Middle East department after a short while and then headed up the North American department. In 1994, he became the deputy foreign minister of Armenia and 2 years later was appointed as the first deputy foreign minister. In 1998, he was appointed as the foreign minister.
Hello, Your Excellency, and welcome to the show. Thank you for being with us.
Well, it's good to be here. Thank you.
Your Excellency, you have just met Foreign Minister Lavrov of Russia. What was the main issue of your talks, and did you manage to settle the new bilateral agreement between Russia and Armenia?
Well, our list of topics is very long. Our bilateral ties with Russia is at a very good level. Our agenda is very broad. It includes all areas of possible cooperation: economic, political, social, cultural. So our relations are extremely broad and deep. But we also discussed today regional and global issues, issues that affect our region, affect Armenia. So this kind of regular meetings, once or twice a year, are extremely important. And today I also benefited from this opportunity not only to advance our bilateral ties, but also to discuss with Minister Lavrov regional and global issues and have an insight of the Russian government as how they see things happening in our region and globally. Nuclear issue with Iran affects Armenia. Kosovo future affects Armenia in terms of our own conflict with Nagorno-Karabakh. CFE treaty affects us because we're also a member of that treaty. These are all important issues with Armenia. So my discussions today with Minister Lavrov were extremely useful and helpful, and I'm looking forward for our continued dialogue on these matters.
Minister Oskanian, since you've mentioned the strategic issues that you discussed, I'd like to start with the strategic issue. Tell me, please, is there still a threat of another war in the Caucasus, in your region? Does peace still have a chance?
Well, we in Armenia believe that peace is the only chance that we have. Peace does not have alternative. Military is not an option. But listening to what Azeris are saying, and they're saying it out loud, is very concerning. I
want to quote the recent speech by the Azerbaijani defense minister, who said the possibility of war with Armenia is 100%.
Well, that's very unfortunate. This kind of rhetoric is not helping the peace process. We got to give the peace a chance. And today, that chance is way higher than that ever been. Today, there is a very good, solid, equitable, viable document that has been developed together with the Azerbaijanis, and we are continuing to negotiate with them. I think there is a possibility to reach a peaceful agreement with them if there is a political will from the Azerbaijani side. But you're absolutely right. They're making this kind of statements that are affecting this process. But let me say one thing. There is no military solution to the Nagorno-Karabakh conflict. If there was one, we would have won it. There has been war twice. Armenian side has prevailed. but we never claimed that we won the war, because we have not. Until we win the peace, no one will be a winner in our region. We got to sit down around negotiating table and reach a peaceful resolution based on the realities of today, based on the legal and historical basis of this conflict. We got to be realistic rather than rely on oil money, on oil revenues, build our armies, and try to reach a military solution.
Your Excellency, but judging from what you say, you're talking about peace, but judging from what you say and how you say, there is certain hostility in the region. And judging by the facts, there are such facts as militarization of Georgia, of Azerbaijan, your neighbors there. Their military budget are increasing year after year. Do you see it as a threat to peace in the region?
Well, of course, increase of military budgets, buying armament is a threat, because eventually those may be used one day, and this repeated rhetoric may become self-fulfilling prophecy. They will continue to talk about military options so much that they will corner themselves among their, before their public, and eventually they have to somehow react to it by starting a war. I hope that will not happen, because, as I said, that is not an option. But of course we're concerned about it, but we're not afraid of it, because we are prepared for it. We're not just sitting down, our hands folded. We are also prepared. Our army is strong. We're prepared for war, but we will continue on the peace track to reach a peaceful resolution with Azerbaijanis on the Nagorno-Karabakh conflict.
Minister Oskanian, since it's a conflict situation, I'll try to quote the opposite side for you to have a chance to give an answer. Azerbaijan has more than once accused Armenia of threatening the military balance in the region by deploying Russian troops on Armenian territory. There are also accusations, I quote, of procurement of Russian weapons to Nagorno-Karabakh. What would be a comment?
Oh, the second part is absolutely not true. There is no single Russian armament that has been gone to Nagorno-Karabakh region. It is a fact that Russia has bases in Armenia. We've asked Russia to maintain its bases in Armenia because we need them. We have military cooperation with Russia. It provides security for Armenia because we do have certain threats coming from outside. Armenia is a small country, doesn't have the capacity to put up to foreign threats, so our cooperation with Russia is extremely important. We're also a member of Collective Security Agreement. The axis and the central element of this treaty is our bilateral relationship with Russia and the peace and cooperation treaty that we have on military matters. So that is important for Armenia's security. But this has nothing to do with Nagorno-Karabakh conflict. If, God forbid, there is a war with Azerbaijan, Russian forces will not be involved. Russian forces are there to protect Armenia against incursion into Armenia from non-CIS member states. That's one of the provisions of our agreement within the collective security and also with Russia. So it is a false accusation. It's a justification for them, Azerbaijanis, for having lost war twice to a group of, people or an entity which is way less in its military capability. So their justification has always been that Russia helped Nagorno-Karabakh to win those two wars, but that is not true. Karabakh Armenians, with the help of Armenia, why not? Because they are our brothers, we're the same people, they have won against all odds. Why? Not because of their prevalence in the armaments, but because of their commitment to their land, because they were fighting for their homes and for their families, and that have given them the courage and the advantage to be able to win over overwhelming force that they were confronted from the Azerbaijani side.